I really hope the fan is not too loud, but that could be significant. If you've never seen me before, hello. My name is Stasia. I am going to give you a message. I channel energy. Energy is really loud right now. Um, if you're coming across this message, use discernment. Oh, okay. Okay. Use discernment. They're also saying that my messages are timeless. And so whenever you come across this message, they're telling me, like, I study astrology and I often reference certain transits or energetic frequencies or what have you. But they're saying that things happen in layers. And whenever this message comes across for you, it is meant for you. Okay? Yeah. Um, there's so much. I feel like, one, I was trying to get spirit to tell me, like, can you give it to me in order? Because I was like, what? You know, I feel like you're a black sheep. I feel like you're an oddball. I feel like you are someone who kind of stands out. Um, but black sheep is what I'm getting. Like, I feel like you have never really fit in, but I feel like you are a ram. Maybe you're an Aries. Um, but I am getting, or maybe you have like dark hair, dark eyes. Like, I just feel like there's things about you. Maybe your favorite color is black. Maybe you are brown skin. Maybe you're of color. I don't know. But I'm getting black sheep. But with that, I'm also getting oddball. You know, like, um, okay. So there is a main energy. I really want to pull cards, but I'm going to go through some of the different channel messages that I'm hearing so that I can get them out. Because if I don't, then I'll keep hearing them, right? And I like to try to translate for you because there's a reason. I heard God saying you need to get to work because I've been braiding my daughter's hair all day. So that could also be significant. And then rest is significant. I've been tired. Astrologically, there is a combust going into a Kazemi with Mercury today. I'm a Gemini. I'm ruled by the planet Mercury, and I'm a Leo moon, Leo rising, the sun, right? So they are having a strong conversation right now, a face to face, you know. Maybe you could have just recently got into it with somebody or had to address something. I try to pick up on all the messages. Like, as soon as I started to tap into the energy, there was just so much that was coming through, and now I want to cry. So I'm feeling like maybe you did just have a hard conversation with somebody, or you're going through some emotions around something with someone significant. They're saying that it's going to be okay. Okay. So there's this energy where it's like, I feel like maybe you have been more into social media, or maybe you've been like doom scrolling lately. Oh, what are you saying? There's something about Arabic coming through. Um, I don't know what that is. I feel like the energy is like we are not isolated. I feel like as Americans, I'm in America, that often we feel like we are the only ones that operate out of a certain way. But right now, I feel like the globe itself is overstimulated. And I feel like there's been an uptick in energy that is drawing us in to cipher our energy. And they are ciphering our energy through social media. And so there's this energy where you may be on your phone more, you may be doom scrolling more, you may be even researching and studying, they're saying, different topics through your phone, through your electronics, and they're wanting you to ease off. I'm hearing. They're saying that is why they were talking about books And that is why they gave a message about spiritual, they talk about like spiritual cleansing or spiritual habits, spiritual routines of like meditation or walking or being with the trees or being in nature. They're also saying that for those of you, and that most of you have gifts, your gifts are stronger when you drink more water or when you're next to water. I feel like some of you are not wanting to speak. I also feel like something is not wanting me to give this message. Okay, there we go. Okay. I feel like something is not wanting me to give this message. So there's something about your energy being siphoned, the way that that just happened. You see how like mid-conversation, as I'm talking into the phone, that there's something else that is kind of draining and taking. And I feel like a lot of people do not know how to protect themselves in that, and that it is very intentional work they're saying. But you have to be accountable for that. They're bringing my attention to, I heard a man say the other day, at a conversation that I was a part of, you know, there's one book that tells us how to live our lives. And he was, of course, talking about the Bible. And I said, well, I feel like the Bible is the greatest story ever written. And that pissed him off. And I was like, there's so many books, right? There's not one book. There's so many books. And so there's this energy of you paying attention to the things that have actually happened. They said in your lifetime, in your existence. Like there are people who have lived experiences and lives that have written about things that they've seen and known and dreamt about that we completely ignore because we don't pick up books. And I feel like there's this energy of like when it's not available to us, we will suffer type of thing. Like that is what they are wanting, is for us to be on tablets and ebooks and cell phones and not to have actual like tangible. But there's this energy of like something has upticked. Something has upticked. And because something has upticked, I feel like this is the time where work begins for a lot of you. And I feel like you're feeling that. Like, because the reading that I'm being called to do, which I will do, is like, what comes next, God? I feel like that is a question that is being asked. Like, what comes next? What do I do now? So I will do that reading. I don't know if I'm going to do it because this will end up being a 30-minute message, and that is just too much for the brain to consume, right? But I will do that reading. They said tangent. Okay, hold on. Yeah, so I feel like what else, Spirit? Tell them that they must do the work. Okay, so you must do the work. Okay, so I have, okay. I'm like, what are we talking about? Okay, so in my life, I have always been overweight, right? Like, always been overweight. And because I was overweight, I had the privilege of working on my inner world. I had the privilege of listening, of seeing angels, of looking at the stars, of being curious. But as I've gotten to the journey, I mean, this is I'm 39, and this is my upkeep time losing weight. Um, the most I've ever weighed is 319. I'm probably about 240 right now, right? The fact that I just said that on social media is fucking crazy, but they told me to tell you my weight. So I don't know if those numbers mean anything to you, but now we all know. But what they're saying is like, so I have to, like, I go to the gym, I eat protein, all these things, and I'm learning how much, like, I've been playing with my daughter at the park or just carrying her on my back, and I stretch, and my body feels, when it's not under stress, because I've gone through some recent health stuff where my body was overly stressed out and my body was not functioning at its best, and it impacted like my weight journey, my weight loss, all these things, right? So there's all these like external forces that they're talking to me about. But the point of what they're saying is that I have to really work at it. Like, I have to go to the gym 4 to 5 times a week. I have to, like, I lift weights. I do a mile every day, right? And so I do like 5 miles a week. I have to really work at it. It's not something that comes easy for me. My physical body, I was told by a lady randomly, which is a lot of my life. She came up and she said, "Oh, you've released the karma that you came into this life with, and now you can lose weight." And it's giving me chills just saying that out loud. And so it was this energy where I feel like I picked my avatar to be bigger because I knew that I had a lot of internal shit that I needed to clear up. I also picked a very hard path around life. So maybe you did too, right? Like, I'm an 80s baby, and I think that that's significant because I was hearing that earlier. But then I heard that once you say that, that other decades are going to be mad. Like, y'all's decade wasn't the worst, you know? And we're not going to fight about it. Who wants to be the worst, right? Like, that's not a fight that we need to have. But there is this energy of like, I picked my path, I picked my avatar, and I needed something to ground me. And because I was so grounded in my physical body, meaning I've never had a problem with men, right? I've never had a problem with like relationships, but I've had problems with insecurities. I've had problems with me being myself in a way that was very authentic because I didn't feel good in my skin. I'm one of 9. That could also be significant. I have a bunch of fucking sisters, and they're all really beautiful. Oh, that's why they were calling me the black sheep and saying that you're the black sheep. So I've always looked at my sisters, and they're creative, right? Like, they can sing and they can fucking dance and they can, draw, and they're pretty, and they always had good hair. I know you look at my locks, but this is like this is last resort of not wanting to do my hair, right? I've never looked at myself like, oh, you're so talented, or you're so beautiful, or you're so anything. Like, I've always wanted to live in the shadow. The fact that God has me doing this right now is beyond me. It's bigger than me because, and maybe you're feeling that. Whole point about the weight thing is, I had the opportunity to work on my inner world. And then I learned meditation like 12, 15 years ago. Like 12 years ago. I learned meditation because my son is 15. And let me tell you, when he was born, I was not meditating. I was waking up every morning drinking the rest of my fucking whiskey that I had the night before. So, wasn't meditating. But once I started like spiritual health, spiritual cleansing, trying to figure out who I was, what was bigger than me, what was inside of me, like, I've always seen angels, I've always seen spirits, I've always talked to God, I've always had this knowingness, I've always had this, like, I remember being about 12 years old, standing in the yard, looking up at the sky, knowing that I had a bigger purpose, and it almost made me want to die because I was like, how do I do that? Like, I don't know how to do that, God, and so it played out in small increments. And I hope that this lands somewhere because I feel like I am just giving an autobiography at this point. But remember that anything that is said during these conversations are significant. Like it's meant for someone and something. If it everything is not going to be for you, but there's importance in you knowing that. So I've had to work on my physical body, right? And I've never gotten trainers, but I watch people, I learn new exercises. I'm very intentional about it. My inner world, I do Reiki at night. I do like maybe 2 or 3 transmission meditations a week where I'm sitting for like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. I'm outside. But I may do like a 12-minute, 20-minute meditation in the morning a couple days a week. I'm very intentional about my word choices, about like I'm just not drawn in. I'm not connected to the grid in the way that some people are at all. But I've learned to not be like that in the ways that I'm now having to learn and work really hard on my physical body. And so they're saying the opposite of that. They're saying that there are a lot of people that had the physical beauty and that they came out with this physical beauty and this courage and this like confidence, and so you use that, right? Like the way I use my brain and strategy and my words, and like you used your beauty and you used your external resources, and now you're trying to figure out how to go deeper on the inside. And I feel like you may be religious, or maybe you were brought up in religion, but it doesn't fully resonate, and so they're wanting you to seek things like meditation and like Reiki and even deep breathing. Like I was talking to someone and they were telling me they're afraid of meditation. Just breathe. You want to hear your own thoughts. You want to know what's going on in your mind, right? And then you can go, that's not important, that's not important, that's not important. And you'll start to realize how much more control you have over what's going on up there than just allowing it to be some type of wheel running with no purpose, right? So that is significant. Yeah, so that bring me back to like the black sheep. I feel like maybe, so I looked at my siblings like, oh my God, I wish I could do that. Like my mom could dance. I just always felt like, I guess I'm smart. And then when I realized I've never really been smart, I've always been highly intelligent. Like I went to 13 elementary schools up into the 5th grade. I couldn't read into the 5th grade. Like I went through a lot in my journey, and I learned to like watch behaviors and patterns and all these things, which got me to this point. But I feel like there's something significant in all of that, right? I feel like you are odd, right? You're odd. Like when people look at you or hear your story, you shouldn't be where you are, type of oddity. I don't even know if that's a fucking word, but I feel like it is. And I feel like maybe I feel like you've either conquered your inside and you're working on your external, and in that there could be some chaos or people that you're needing to let go of, or situations that you're having to address, or the opposite. I feel like there's 2 collectives here. I feel like the other collective is really beautiful or has talents that also I feel like you get from God. So maybe you do hair, or you sing, or you draw, and you're like, damn, nobody else in the family can do this thing like I can do it. But I feel like maybe you're coming from your ego, where it's like, damn, can't nobody do the shit like I do it, not from a humble place. And so Spirit is wanting you to know that that thing is a gift. Damn, this is a long message. Anything, they told me to come back and do the reading. Okay, so I will. Oh, so they're saying just be mindful, because the reason why you're going more into social media is because they're trying to cipher you, because you have magnetic energy, and to not fall into that trap. Like try to micro dose your way. They talk about microdosing a lot, just FYI. Try to microdose your way away from it, and to go outside, take an extra walk, have a conversation in real life with somebody. Don't just DM people, type of thing.